Till that during the peak of the Cold War, one of the tasks given to Neil Armstrong was to place 2 Soviet medals on the moon to honor their fallen Soviet competitors. Items also brought along include an Apollo 1 patch, to honor the sacrifice of astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee, who perished during the first test of the Apollo module. A small gold olive branch, a global symbol of peace. A silicon disc about the size of a United States $50 containing inscribed microscopic text serving as messages from the President of the United States and leaders of 73 other nations solicited by Thomas Paine, then head of NASA. Buzz Aldrin and fellow moonwalker Neil Armstrong chose to go to the moon with an Apollo 1 patch. It was selected to honor the ultimate sacrifice of astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee, who perished in a fire during the first test of the Apollo Command and Service Module. The astronauts also chose to remember their fallen Soviet competitors and carried with them 2 Soviet medals, honoring cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov, who died in the Soyuz 1 spacecraft in 1967, and Yuri Gagarin, the first man to orbit the Earth, who was killed in an aircraft in 1968. Aldrin and Armstrong understood that even as Americans raced the Soviets to the moon, success would be shared by all. It's neat how something like space exploration can still unite different countries. Adversaries when safe at home, colleagues when far from safe. Neil. A strong testament that, while politically the space race was extremely combative, scientifically it was a completely different story. Our species owes a lot to the men and women who brought humans into space regardless of where those scientists were born. I was curious about how the medals themselves had been obtained and found this, https://www. defensemedianetwork.com/stories/Odyssey Apollo 11/3/. Gagarin and Komarov's medals had been given to Frank Borman, the Apollo 8 commander, by the Soviet astronauts' widows during a previous visit to Moscow. I love this kind of stuff when scientists and other professionals can ignore the BS of borders and show some love to good peeps around the world. We are better and nicer than our leaders in most cases. The medals were given by the widows of the 2 Soviet cosmonauts, Yuri Gagarin and Vladimir Komarov, to American astronaut Frank Borman, who later passed them on to the Apollo 11 crew. I find the plagues to be even more interesting. This is Apollo 11. Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon July 1969, A.D. We came in peace for all mankind. And Apollo 17. Here man completed his first explorations of the moon December 1972, A.D. May the spirit of peace in which we came be reflected in the lives of all mankind. Neil threw it off the moon into the abyss. Neil. Quick side note, the one huge fact that proves the moon landing was real, I know, is that if America had faked it, Russia would be so loud in calling our bullshit. The fact they never did, is easy proof we actually made it to the moon. When we used Glomar Explorer to pull up a Russian sub, we found a few corpses on it. So the CIA gave them a burial at sea, complete with, as best they could reconstruct, proper USSR songs and prayers and procedure and such. Even recorded the whole thing to show the Russians later. Let's not forget that those are the true American values. None of this lock her up or even the assassinate Trump BS represents who we've always been. Let's not lose touch completely, that's actually really touching. Even separated by country and government they still had some humanity. Niel Armstrong. Komarov's body came back toasted and he wanted an open casket funeral so the world could see what the generals had done. This is what it means to be human. This is why I love science so much. Humanity, first. Not too far off topic, when the Glomar Explorer recovered a sunken Russia missile sub they performed a burial at sea with military honors for the men that they recovered with it. The mission was top secret but they recorded the burial thinking that one day the recovery mission would become public. Science respects science. Neil, I'm really surprised at all of the misspellings on the front page these past few years. Neil. I will surely give your post the same attention afforded to it by you. Your task was to spell Niel correctly. I remember as a kid in grade school, 1995 to 2008, I never learned about Yuri Gagarin or any of the Soviet space accomplishments. I believed going into college that the first man in space was John Glenn because his name was hammered into our learning about the space program during my youth. When of course it was Yuri that was the first man in space, Alan Shepard was the first American in space, and John Glenn was the first to orbit the Earth. What about Hargrave's moon base? Classy. Wait, is it Neil or Neil? You can be adversaries and still have respect for each other. Oh gosh, I miss being with people without getting so much anxiety. Unrelated, carry on. That is fucking class, NASA. Medals for fallen cosmonauts. Wish we all had as much class today. Oh, I thought they were being petty at first. Well, that's nice then, smiley. Can we at least learn how to spell the name of the first human on the moon? Or do we not give a shit about anything anymore? Also, did you know that people are statistically more likely to read a headline if a word is misspelled? Neil Starr. For some reason space has always been a place where the US and Russia get along way better than on the ground. After the shuttle program shut down, we were launching all of our astronauts from there until this year. Neil, the forgotten astronaut. No part of the sky is visible at one time. Telescopes are difficult to build. The astronomical community, in my recall, never really recognized the Cold War. If you were looking to the stars, you didn't see the borders. In 1971, Apollo 15 left a memorial piece called The Fallen Astronaut, https://en.m. Wikipedia.org/wiki/fallen_astronaut, which named the 14 known astronauts/cosmonauts to have died at that time. I say known because the Soviet Union kept a rap on some of their deceased astronauts. Neil asterisk. Honor asterisk. When an American is doing the honoring, there's no you. Who's Neil Armstrong? Is he related to Neil? That, my friends, is disliking yet respecting your enemies. Neil. Good TIL though. Thanks. Hey Neil, we want to get a shot of you placing these two medals on the surface of our stage. Go ahead and do this real quick, then you can get lunch. /S. Who's Neil? I hate my brain. Super cool fact, very interesting, but it's Neil Armstrong, damn it, not Neil O. That makes my brain itch, grinning squinting face. If you want it, come and get it. That's honestly a great fuck you. It's super nice so they can't respond with venom, but it's like a participation trophy. Oi Neil. Can you drop the off at the moon next time ya pass though? Yeah, hang on, I'll get the keys. You have to remember. Regardless of which country did it, it still meant that humanity made it to our moon. Which is a big accomplishment. As far as the astronauts were concerned. It was all in the name of science. Passive-aggressive. It is at the time an incredible flex, isn't it? So wholesome. Man, did that thing have a U-Haul for all the shit they took. Does anyone have a link to the president's messages inscribed on the disc? Competitor also colleague. Trump probably. I like competitors that didn't die. Interesting.